Hi, it's Tony at Casa Esmeralda. If you like my channel, please do like and subscribe. Hit that like button down below. Thank you for those who have liked and subscribed. I have not done a lot of filming, but let's get into doing some filming because it has been very much raining here. There was about a meter of rainfall in a week. So, like last night, there was about 35 centimeters of rain here in just a couple hours. It's been crazy. You got these huge thunder crackers here in the springtime. It's all good as long as the water's in the ground. Let's take a look around and see what is going on here at Casa Esmeralda. So I got the duckies. They left for a week and they decided to come back and they're swimming. So the duckies are swimming. Oh, you guys are like... I'll get you guys out here in a few minutes. I just wanted a few duckies for Easter and Christmas. If I get 4, I think that's good. So I got 1 male and 3 female duckies. You got potatoes coming up here naturally again. Last year I put potatoes in here. I took some that are the turnips from the greenhouse and they died. And they seemed like maybe one seems to be hanging on, and then I got these nice potatoes in here that are coming up again. So, and I got more potatoes still in the garage from last year. There was like 50 kilos of potatoes, which I ate over the winter. There's my fennel. So all in here, there's some nice fennel. There's some nice garlic still growing in here. I harvested my first garlic. I got a whole garlic vine in my house. It was really nice to have a garlic vine now and to have fresh garlic with the pastas and the pizzas and all the stuff that you can have with the Mediterranean food. So okay, let's go in the greenhouse. Oh, I've been busy. There's a surprise coming, so... Ooh, is it hot in here? So we still got the beets. The beets are going to be coming out this week. I'm going to use all this. I'm going to make a chicken soup out of these beets and the fennel, which is going to be nice. So... And then we got some pepper coming up here. It looks like, again, some pepper, which is coming up here. And I just watered in here and I just got hot. And okay, I need to take my glasses off because my glasses are fogging up. And then we got some turnips growing here. And the last video I made, the time to plant and grow, I put melanzani in here, and then I put peppers, and then I put strawberries, and I don't think none of it came up. And then this came up. I think this is like rapa that reseeded itself or something. And there is some lettuce. There's some salad growing in here in the corner. And this is of the Austrian kind. And then there's tons and tons of basil. So there's 3 different varieties of basil. There is like the Mediterranean kind, which is like this here. And then there's like an Italian kind, which is like this here. And then there's an Austrian kind, which I think this one here in the front. So this carrot's reseeding itself. And then I got some oregano in here. And then in the back here, some rosemary. And then there's the aloe vera. You guys have all seen this. And we got a goat that wants to eat, or will eat anything, including my socks. We got more garlic growing in here. We We got 3 different kinds of parsley. This is an Italian giganticus parsley. There's some parsley growing in here from Austria. Down in here. There's some still the wild mountain cabbage that is growing in here. I picked this when it was seeding off a mountain in Austria. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know all my story about everything. All these pots are still going to come out of here. It's warm enough in here now, as I see, like the germination time is very good right now, but on the outside at nighttime the germination is not good, so I don't want to put seeds out at night and then they don't only half germinate and I waste my money on seeds. Bananas are doing good. I actually cut back a lot of the banana leaves, and these are all new growths of bananas here. So there's all different types of plants for this. There's more turnips that are growing in here. There's a whole bunch of turnips. And then there's some new peppers growing in the back here. Some hot peppers. You gotta be careful. And then way in the back down here, there's some carrots growing right there. And there's actually a fig. So I found out what that tree is. It's actually a fig tree that's growing in here. And it just kind of, it doesn't really fruit or anything, but it gives off a lot of the plant goodness that you can always have in a greenhouse when lots of plants are growing in a greenhouse, and that it's always good to have lots of things growing, giving off those nitrogens and carbon monoxides and oxygen and all those things that plants do. Wow. So let's go out. Let's go out. But it's all good. I'm very happy with this. The herbs are really growing, so the pastas, the pizzas, the potatoes, eating has been really good lately, which is really nice. So when it does get warm in the germination time, as I've been waiting a month here, last year I think I did have a little bit warmer weather and I was able to put to germinate already outside earlier. This year not. So, and there will be another stone bed coming in like in a U shape around here. The herbs will be planted in, and then there will be some other being stuff. And tomatoes, there's like in one banana, a tomato naturally seeded itself. There's like 2 naturally seeded tomato plants there. And Ziggy and Pippi, well, I will tell you the story. And actually Ziggy did jump my fence this morning, and this fence is about 170 centimeters high, and he did jump that, surprisingly. So I will show you that just momentarily. Look at the nice weather come out now. The bees are all gone. I have checked the hive, so the bees are gone. I am going to get a new nuke coming. I have the guy's phone number. It was a very cold winter here, so we'll have to see if we're going to get nukes or not. Chickens are doing great. I'm only down to 4 hens, and I have 7 new chicks that are about 20 days old. So they're still hanging in there. It was a very poor incubation period because of the rain and the temperature or the humidity or the dampness in my house, because I don't have insulation, so the incubator will not really function to its optimal level when you do not have the right temperature, warm temperature in your house, because the chicks will not hatch if you don't have warm temperature, because the incubator is taking in that air and it's pumping it into the incubator, even though the incubator says it's above like mid 30s or low 30s to mid 30s, or even like the high 30s. It's still not going. So, but this is all good because last year I had lots of chicks, and then some of the rooster and some of the hens ended up killing the chicks and things like that. So this year I just want to use a little bit of hens, put new chicks, put 2-month-old chickens in the coop, so they are just growing their feathers. So after about 6 weeks, the baby chicks have grown their feathers, so anywhere between 6 weeks and 8 weeks you can put them in, into a regular coop. So I still have to collect the eggs today. I did this on one Sunday. This is the root stout method of planting, and this was this hay bale that was up there. It was sitting there for like 9 months and it was like rotting away, and I actually spread it out, and then I moved it again and I put it down here. So this bed is slowly degrading itself, it's rotting away. And as if you can remember, last year I had my cucumber melons in here. There's like melon size cucumbers that grow here, and then there's carousel and things like that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put zucchini in here first, and then come June the melons are gonna be put in, and then the melons will be ripe end of August, first few weeks into September, pre-harvest time, and then I'll have cucumber melons all summer long. I'm hoping for that. And now with this, last year I didn't put a lot of hay in, and this is a lot of hay. This is a really nice bed for planting here, so no tiller planting or anything. So I'm doing a little bit of security revamp around my place. Went down to the local blacksmith, and he chomped this together for me in less than half an hour. So I have a door here, and this was like 39 euros for this door to be made and done with the metal and everything, which is a really good price. And then I'm just gonna put some chicken wire across the front of it, tie all the chicken wire around all the edges, then I have a gate and then a door. And then I'm gonna be using some really heavy gauge wire as hinges, and then that way the door will sit on the ground, kind of thing. So, and the ducks have been using this corral, the former goat corral. The goats don't like to stay in here, they like to come in here, they like to steal the hay, and then they sort of leave or something. So normally when animals, they're eating a lot of grass or herbs, they like to afterwards go through the hay or eat the hay, because it helps with the digestion and pulling those herbs and grasses down through the digestive system and things like that. It really soothes their stomachs well when you can give an animal hay after a couple hours of eating grass and herbs. So a good mixture, and also of grains, maybe at nighttime or something. I'm just giving them a handful of grains of mixed grains, which is like wheat, barley, some corn flakes with some carob in it, and then there's like linseed and all the minerals and stuff that goats need. And then they're also taking the minerals off the olive leaf and things like that I said before that they need. So as you can see, the goats are very big. They have gotten very, very big, and I cannot get rid of them. They like to be around me all the time, and that means that I'm feeding them properly if they like to be around you, or they probably... So anyways, so this is the new fencing that's put in, because I do want to get my goats down into the pasture, and I walk them in the early morning hours, and I want to get them and keep them down in the pasture, because I have a huge grazing property for four-legged animals, for four-legged farm animals I should say, and it would be nice that I could put more farm animals on my property. And then this whole area here all the way down to the fence line, and the second tree up and right as a planting area for vegetables. That would be good. And the tractor is working well too, so I fixed the temperature gauge on the tractor. I didn't need to buy a new one, and it was just that I took it apart and it was some water got in, same thing as the alternator, water in the alternator, water in the connections, and it got a little rusty. A little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of soldering, and everything works good. So I let my chickens out here at the nighttime, and my chickens have been going through here. They've been doing their tillering, which is all good. Possibly I wanted to do the video later on but I wanted to get on to doing some digging today and start making that fence, because that pallet gate is kind of iffy, temporary sort of thing from last year in September. So I did this week or over the weekend, and I put a fence now. So this is from the new fencing that's put in here, and then that's all the way around. It's about 75 meters of fencing. So there's still some stuff that needs to be done, and I'm thinking I'm going to put another gate in here as like a livestock gate, or same thing as like that gate that I have up there. I'm just going to get another one made because it was only 39 euros. And then I just put the gate in here, and I have the cement and stuff too. So that's and the posts. So it was 39 euros with the gate and the 2 posts, which is a really good deal. So when I moved in here, there were hunters and they were standing right here. So up there is my house, like about 50 meters away is my house, and hunters standing right here, and they were hunting. They were standing here with their shotguns. So, and the problem still continues. I wake up sometimes in the early mornings, and there's 2 Mediterranean guys standing right here, and they're hunting, and they're looking down here on their property for animals to shoot. So this is here now, and I'm planning to, last year I planted some tomatoes right up here, and it actually I had nice Roma tomatoes in the summertime, and if I get onto tillering or anything like that, I possibly can plant in here, because there is so much nutrients in this ground from these trees, from these pine trees and these Italian fir trees that were here. There is so much nutrients in that ground, and that's the reason why these trees got so big and they grew so nice and everything. So yeah, so if I get into planting and growing that sort of thing into this area, and I can do that, that would be really great. So the fence goes all the way down here to my neighbor who does nothing. And I came to the point where it's not really a thing where I need something to kind of go around and give me some space here, that if I wanted to cut firewood, or I wanted to do work or anything, or I wanted to cut a little bit off of firewood, a meter or 2, that it kind of comes down here and I can do some work. It would have been a lot harder for me to build a fence up there, and then I would have a gate and something like that, and this way if I'm cutting any firewood, or if I'm working here, or if I'm doing any gardening or planting or growing, I can come down here also with the wheelbarrow then too. Or if I'm cutting any firewood, I can use the tractor to pull the wood back up and things like that. So that was, you know, a nice thing. It would have been easier to build the fence across there, but it wouldn't have had any use for me, because I still have all this terrain and this brush property here to do some planting and growing and harvesting of firewood. Nice day yesterday. Was absolutely, I had to do 2 changes of clothes yesterday. It was just coming down in rain. So my neighbor, also this neighbor here, he does nothing. So I hardly see any neighbors on both sides. They come by here only a couple times a year. So if I had farm animals and things like that, there's some tolerances and things like that when you don't have neighbors on either side. So Ziggy jumped the fence over there today too. I put him outside, and right where the pallet gate is, the farm gate, he jumped that. So I still have to figure out what to do with them. they figured out on how to shut the electric fence off, to trip the electric fence too. So anyways, this is the pear tree. If you've seen my canning videos, out of this one tree I got over 20 jars of pears, about 20 liters of pears, and there's lots of pears going on there, and there's a few from some neighbors, but majority of the pears are from this tree, and tons of grass. So I'm just holding off if there's another spell of rain, but I sort of found a tiller, but it's a little bit steep, but affordable, and kind of a drag behind. So I have that crawler tractor, and I can drag behind this thing, and I can kind of just scrape the ground down to like a half a meter by going back and forth, and then I'll have some nice soil instead of some mechanically operated rotating machine. Kind of an old school style of tillering, but I have to go check it out. So the figs are growing. Here's a little fig right here. So the first figs are going right here. These are going to be ready in the first week of July when the temperature reaches 33 degrees Celsius. And these ones are the purple ones. If you've seen my videos last year, this is like after the rain and everything, and there's another one down there too, and the duckies really want to come out. Olives are just coming along nicely. The goats have really trimmed the bottoms here, so that's all good, because natural trimming is very good for a tree, and you'll get you some really nice olives. And so this is going to be coming in June, and these are the loquat, or the Nespoli. In the Mediterranean we call them here Nespoli, which are these ones right here. So these are the Nespoli, and I have like a dozen tree of these, and the goats have really trimmed these trees. These trees are very sensitive to trimming. They're more like natural trimming. They're more of a wild tree, so I call them Italian plums. And like this tree over here, that's also a Nespoli, and it died. I tried trimming it myself just a little bit, and the ants got to it, so the ants ate basically all of the tree, and it just died. But I'm still trying to figure out what to do with that tree. So much high grass right now, and there's hundreds of figs that will be growing on this tree as this tree keeps on getting bigger and bigger every year. So now August will be 3 years here, so hundreds and hundreds of figs on this tree that have all sprouted. So about good 2 months. So when the figs start getting big, that's when I know when to plant the melons. I've never seen this much grass here before. It's incredible, and this would be such a nice, if I turn this over and I tiller this over, this would be such good fertilizer, and that for planting and growing food. This is all from the chickens last year. So my first 2 years here, 2 summers, it was very poor. The grass there was sort of patchy spots of grass around here. It was not very good, and I let the chickens out. So I went to talk also to the power company yesterday. It was the day before. They gave me a discount again on my solar because they forgot to give me a discount. So if you're running a solar power system and you're making solar power, and you're not getting a discount, I suggest you go to your power company and ask them for a discount or send them a bill, which I told them I will send you a bill. So I think it was like 20 euros a month. Okay, so if you like this video, please do like and subscribe. This is Tony at Casa Esmeralda. Please do like and subscribe. Hit that like button down below. And thank you for those who have liked and subscribed. I hope I've inspired you to go outside, to plant and grow your own food, to live off the land, maybe to have a few animals, do things outdoors, do your own gardening, maybe build your own house, your own homestead or your farm, and do things on your own. Okay, so thank you very much and have a great day. Bye for now.